All right, guys, so we're changing things up today. I'll explain what's going on in this video. This is my garden gate here. I went out there to the garden to try to get some gardening going, and I realized that my garden gate is completely not functional anymore, which kind of put a rush order in on a custom gate that I've been kind of thinking about for a long time. We're going to put a gate on here. We're going to do this video a little different. I'm actually dubbing sound over the video. So there's no grinder sound or welding sound or when the hood the visor on my welding shield goes up, comes down, you don't hear it muted. Had this suggested by a couple viewers, and so we're going to try it. There's another surprise today. I've actually convinced my lovely wife Chris, who is a metal worker, to join me. So we might get a little back and forth going.
I'm here against my will, because I have opinions, and to provide snarky comedic relief
Yep.
because I think somebody babbles on a little too much.
And she's probably 100% right on that one. I have paid her in flavored vodka, and I've got bourbon going, so it's we're she's in a good place. Don't worry. Nobody called the police or anything.
Not yet.
We'll see by the end of the video. We may not survive. What's unbeknownst to all the viewers, and I'll actually explain what's going on the screen, and then we can tell them about how lovely our day's been.
Oh.
Um, on screen, what I'm doing is I recycle everything. So that is a old bid frame that I likely was driving down the road, probably to an antique store or something that Chris had to get to in a hurry and saw. So I just swung over and threw it in the back of the car and probably narrowly missed my niece or something in the back seat. But it's going to good use now. Um, we've got a 48 by 34 gate that what I'm doing is I'm cutting sides to it. Well, I'm cutting out material from this bed rail that will make the framework. You're going to see the framework being built today. This will be part one of likely a 4 or 5 part series where we're going to do the framework today, and then there will probably be some bracing tomorrow and a little bit of fun stuff. There's going to be some decorations, probably some layout of some of the main pieces. Then you'll probably see those welded into place. And then the little details after that. And then I get to grind it all and hope that eventually one day she rusts into a old antique looking gate that I can encapsulate and save.
I am completely unaware of this project at all, so I have no clue what we're getting into.
She lies. She's the mastermind behind all this. She just doesn't want her name on it till she sees what it looks like at the end.
I mean, I won't find out anything until the end and then tell you all the changes you need to make.
It's easier to ask forgiveness than it is permission. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting the side rails. The side rails are 48 inches, like I said it before. And then what you'll see in the next few parts is I cut apart another whole. Oh yeah, Rio. Rio. We have two dogs. We have Rio and Nugget, and they have figured out that we're all shoved into this tiny little office of mine, and they all want attention. So you may hear them going around. Um, they got to be with Mama all the time.
My babies.
Yes.
Get
There's
on
all,
with the video.
there's videos of Nugs up there if you want to see who we're talking about. There will be videos of Rio. Nugs is a drama type boy though. He has a full wardrobe going on. By the way, my wife feels like we should be explaining every moment of this video. It's a lot of grinding. It's a lot of cutting. I'm gonna eventually, like right now, I'm cutting the other side of the rail apart. You'll see me, the two sides are actually 1 and 2 inches too short, so you'll see me in the next part of this video, in probably a couple minutes, adding that material in and then cutting it to the length that we need it. The wheels that the bed sits on are just going to be scrap metal. There's probably very little use for that exact shape and size. I haven't found a whole lot of use for them, so they go in the scrap bin. Like I said, I try to save everything I can, but I really don't mind sending them to the scrap bin. They'll become cars and whatnot in the next few years. I try to save everything and recycle what I can't. Um, but today has been a fun day in this house. I don't mind sharing a little bit of our adventure. We are we I've just passed my national home inspector's test last month, so we're starting a new business, Big Bad Wolf Inspections, home inspections, on top of this YouTube channel, and getting the art in full swing again. Trying to This week we're going to be sending off a few registrations to a few art shows. I'll keep you all posted. If you guys are in the area, it would be great to see if anybody ever actually watches this. Um, but yeah, it's been fun. Today has been setting up a lead generator and the websites, and
And we're still alive. Neither one of us has been killed yet.
it was a close thing a couple times. We don't like designing things, and I am not that great at being patient on non-creative things. So I just kind of want to jump in there and fill out the forms and get paid.
He's not great with patience at all in anything, so don't let him fool you.
She lies. She's from Jersey, so that's what they're known for. That's all I can say.
Be careful on what you eat tonight.
Don't worry, I've got leftovers. So right now you'll see me prepping the metal to add. I think this is where we're going to add some 1 inch to this piece, so it'll be the proper length for the top or the bottom rail. I'm not sure where it's going to end up. At the end of the video, you'll see the frame all welded up. And at that point, it really doesn't care. There's going to be welds and scabs and crazy assemblage going on all the way down it. So you'll see me bring in a third piece of metal here. That's just to keep the other two pieces in a straight plane so that it's straight. If this was going to a better house with a better garden and brickwork, say, I'd have this all lined up on the floor nice and neat. I've done a couple of those. They're more like exacting than what this is. This is going to my garden, which my garden we lovingly call the Wabi Sabi garden. It's a little bit of mismatch. It's whatever I feel like on that day and whatever works. And it kind of, but this is going to be going out there, and we're going to have, I think, a rough idea of a heart in it, because that's the Heartfire Forge that we've taken half of our garden to build the Heartfire Forge.
Oh,
And you'll be seeing that come.
I had no idea.
You did too. We have discussed this over and over again.
I don't pay attention to you.
Oh my God. We used to go to a restaurant in John's Island that was called Heartfire, and we liked the name so much. And since half of my pieces incorporate the heart, we had named it Heartfire Forge. And apparently, I need to get my wife double checked to make sure her brain's still working.
Oh, it works great,
Uh-huh.
except for with you.
So,
But you can say the same.
but yeah. But because it's going out into our mismatched little area, it doesn't have to be that exacting. So I'm kind of enjoying the freedom of creativity. Now, all this movement that I'm doing right here is simply to put the welds upward, so towards the camera. If you guys weren't watching this, this would be different. This would probably be at a 90 facing me a little better. Um, you'll see my hand move back and forth. That's a zigzag weld. Um, it's mild steel. It's not, it's plenty strong for a gate. I've actually got this steel holding part of my trailer together out front. And Chris has seen me use it entirely too much for probably inappropriate projects sometimes.
We won't discuss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably should have upgraded it a couple times. But if you know where to brace off, it usually works pretty good.
He says that.
Yeah.
We're very much trial by error around here.
Well, yeah, there's that. Comes with the lifestyle. Um, and then, so I've got one of them done. Oh, maybe I might have two of them done at this point. I've lost track. I've been sipping the bourbon. Yep, looks like I'm lining up the sides. And I'm going to use, I'm cutting it down. That's what's happening. So I've got my top already. This will be the bottom, it looks like. And I'm going to use the plywood to give me my square edge.
Why are you cutting it down when you just melted a piece to expand
Because I
it?
only needed a couple inches, so I'm cutting it to the exacting length that I needed. I figured I'd shoot for perfection.
No comment.
Now, it was easier to do that than it was to cut a couple inch piece and weld it into place and hope that the weld didn't expand or contract the metal.
I'll give
So,
you that.
yeah, so it was easier to weld the metal up to a longer piece and then cut it down. My wife was in charge of a foundry at one point, and she got the great pleasure of telling me what to do for that time period. So you'll catch some of the snarky comments sometimes.
Oh, I thought that was life of marriage.
I mean, that too. But the real bosses around the house are definitely the dogs, but she thinks she's in charge. So right now I'm just prepping the metal. We're going to weld it into the corners. I'm not going to weld it up completely because I actually want to add drains into the corners. Oh, no, this is the second piece. That's what's going on here.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
I am sipping bourbon, trying to forget about all the paperwork I've done today, and I'm discussing the project vaguely because this part isn't that interesting. I can't wait for the design part, but you can't get to the dessert before you eat the dinner. So you just got to sit through the framework part, and then we'll get the design part in the next part. And I promise you, it's going to be a lot more interesting. Now, we've actually purchased a burnout furnace for Chris. So we're going to be doing some foundry videos one of these days. If y'all have any interest in seeing the foundry or certain things made in the foundry, let us know. Comment below. I guess this is a good time to say that I am a new channel, and like and subscribe thing is a definite thing. Like I'm struggling. I've got 10 subscribers at this point. I get quite a lot of views, but 10 subscribers. So you guys could hit the subscribe button. I hate to ask, but it'd be great. Be a thing.
Please do, and then I don't have to hear about this so
Oh no,
much.
that constantly happens. It'll keep happening. My wife, my niece and I are in this channel. She's helping me put together this channel. So we're a little obsessed with it at this point. But so you get to have fun later this week because I've got to clean up the yard, and then we've got to stage one of our sets that they'll actually be seeing where we put together all the art show setup.
What does that have to do with me?
Oh, that has everything to do with you. Do you not remember in art shows? I unload the stuff and you set up the tents. That's how this works.
Do you know how many art shows we almost got kicked out of because
Nah, they loved it. It's like a soap opera first thing in the morning. Yeah.
you better provide some hardcore caffeine and some hardcore liquor for me to survive that?
So I'm picking up some Irish cream.
Possibly.
Okay. We'll mix the two. We can make some Irish coffees. And this is the first art show we've set up in probably 5 years.
At least.
5 years.
I did a
Okay.
few small ones
We did. I think the
a
last
few years
ones.
ago.
I think the last one was Black Market. Black
I did
Mountain.
one like
No?
right before COVID. I did a few.
When?
I did some jewelry ones.
Oh, you did some jewelry ones?
Oh, yeah, you weren't
She
there.
must have kept the proceeds from that because I don't even remember hearing about these shows.
Oh,
You gotta watch The Wives.
we don't make any money. Don't worry.
But no, I'm looking at some around the Raleigh area and around the Myrtle Beach area to start
Raleigh,
out.
North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina, as opposed to
I don't know. Who the hell knows where Raleigh is if they're
do
not from the area?
Do we think that they know where Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is then?
It helps
Okay.
to provide a state.
As we
You know,
get
if you don't live here,
as we get actually into the shows and know for sure, I'm going to provide all the actual addresses and times and whatnot. That way, like I said, if y'all want to come out and see the stuff that I make in person, because there's a lot that I make that doesn't go on the videos. Um, I'm sure I'll get around to some of the pieces on the videos, but right now there's a lot of one-of-a-kind pieces that aren't making the videos. So you guys can come out and see what I do.
I wouldn't survive if you made a video for every single piece.
It's debatable.
Yeah, no.
Our marriage wouldn't survive, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
So this is where I'm actually cleaning up the pieces, and then they're going together. Um, it's a process. If you're curious, I've sped this up, but in reality, it's probably taken a little over an hour to get to this point. Um, and like I said, we'll have about a day into these gates, so I'm not going to be very receptive at the end to changing them.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, it is what it is. We got other things to do than build gates. If I was to build the wooden gates, which I was a carpenter for years and years, if I was to build a wooden gate, I'd probably have like an hour into it. So this is a substantial investment.
How is this going to keep the pups out of the garden?
Did you not catch what we were discussing earlier, where
You're putting a heart in it. There's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be.
build a lot of assemblage around the heart.
Okay.
Yeah, probably some spider web,
Okay.
maybe a no dogs allowed sign down about 3 inches from the ground.
Dog level.
No dogs allowed.
As long as there's nothing prickly or
So
poopy that's gonna hurt my
what
pups.
we haven't told you guys is the reason why we keep the dogs out there is not really they're used to being in the metal shop. Not a whole lot of scare there. The problem is my terrier Chihuahua
Mutt.
fruitcake mix. Um, thinks he's vegetarian and he will eat everything right off the bush, right down to he's trying to pick my kale plant clean right now, and I mean clean. So I've got to keep him out because we have
He
we
loves berries. He likes
yep
mint. Um, he
and
just goes around
yep
taste testing all the tops of the veggies.
yep
And then, of course, if they're bright colored, they might be a toy
yep
if he doesn't think they're edible. Like, he doesn't like tomatoes, but he has no problem plucking them and scattering them around the
yep
yard. So,
yep and I've just planted about 30, 40 seedlings.
they're going to taste
And
yummy.
yeah, we're gonna try to keep them out of there by the time they go in the actual ground. It's coming to that point of the year, you're gonna start seeing some garden videos. In fact, I think I'm gonna make some garden trays maybe tonight. Maybe you'll see the build on tomorrow. Just a quick tray, just something to carry the seedlings in and out of the sun. Um, we're getting down to the end of this video. We've got only a couple more minutes left. Right there, you can see that the reason why I'm not really building it on concrete is the frame is flexible. So, like, I can flex it however it is once as I'm welding it up and get it straight and whatnot.
What would that have to do with concrete?
Concrete
Except
would
you'd have to lean over more.
concrete would keep it straight. Would keep it flat. When I build the bigger gates, I put them down in the concrete. I'll mark them out. That way they keep completely flat. This one is a little more flexible.
I'm
It's
not
mild
following
steel.
you, but it's okay.
It's okay. You're not building the thing, so.
No.
Hey, Rio.
And he's sitting there flexing over it. I don't like this. That
Yeah,
just doesn't make
okay.
sense. But it's okay.
So we have two different styles of building. She likes to lay everything out, monotonously know exactly what she's going to do. And me, I kind of go with what it is. I just creatively go along a path and I come out at the end. And then she criticizes it and I ignore it and move on to the next project. So
It's my job.
Yep.
I wouldn't be a good wife without criticizing.
That's debatable.
I have to
Well,
call you out.
guys, we're getting to the last 30 seconds of the video. I've got to say, like I said, one last cry. Please subscribe. Like the video if you want to see more. And comment below whether Chris did a good job or whether you guys want Chris to take over all the voiceover. Because
Please, no, I don't want to do this.
she's highly critical of what I do. So we've decided that this is the way it's going to be from now on. But if you guys say that you only want to hear Chris, I can probably figure something out.
Or kick me off.
No, no
Please.
kicking you off the island. That's not going to work. This is definitely a partnership. All right, that was the end of the video. Like I said, please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next part of the build. Thanks.